Hey all, Jin Lee here with episode 13 of the Fireside Chat that I do with my co-hosts Lufenia, Lidz87, and the Broadway Saiyan. And this was streamed on the Tuesday after the SQUEX community stream, and we do go over the stream itself, the upcoming contents, and our thoughts on the Burst Plus era, Lufenia Plus, who we greened, who we plan to green, who we didn't, and why, etc. And as usual, question and answers and all that good stuff. So we do hold these monthly, generally the Tuesday after the community live stream, or, well, the next live stream is going to be a weird date, so we will see about when we hold that, but the announcements will always be in the Discord, so join any of their Discords to be notified, and yeah, please enjoy, and see you guys next time. Bye.
Oh, hello. What's going on? Wait, so what were you saying, 40, about Tails? The music was really loud in my ears.
Oh, I just unlocked law.
Law?
Yeah, law.
Martial law.
Martial
Yep.
law.
Well, pretty much. I mean,
Don't spoil anything for Lidz though.
Oh shit.
Or anybody else on the stream that wants to play.
I literally just finished Tales of Arise yesterday. So.
Nice.
Oh my god, it's so fucking good.
And you had like all the waifus, right? With all the costumes or lack of,
right,
so to say.
With all the peach shots.
Speaking of beach shots, Rez with Zack, huh?
Oh my god. I don't even get me started yet because I will go all in. We reached that discussion topic.
Oh geez, so what's going on, everybody? We're just gonna hang out here for a quick moment before we start the show to let viewers come on in and join us. But we know that Rez likes to simp for beach Zack, which again we will talk about later. J Unit with the sub, thank you, fam. 14 months. You know, do you ever ask my fellow co-host? Do you ever ask your viewers if they're ever tired of you? Like they follow you for more than a year. It's like, oh shit! I punched living shit out of my mic here. I mean, we love the support, of course. Thank you for putting up with me for over a year. Appreciate that.
I know, this community is the best.
It is. It really is.
Wholesome. Truly wholesome.
I recently did the poll for when I was reaching 4K about why people were subbed, and I did put an option where it was like I forgot I was subbed. That got about 5%.
I'm tempted to do a poll for mine. I don't even know what options I'd put on mine, but I'm very curious.
Just do one. Just do it.
Obviously, the winning option would be Teddy. So.
Oh, Teddy.
Subscribe for Teddy.
Is Teddy sleeping? Is a sleepy puppy?
Oh, he's passed out.
He's out?
He's absolutely passed out.
Oh, he doesn't like our show. I see how it is. I see how it is, Teddy. It's okay. It's all right, fam.
He's my best bear.
I think my dog's asleep. He's knocked out. Before he going Super Saiyan over here with the beautiful particle effects.
Oh my goodness.
The red lightning.
It looks more like he's in hell with dealing with two young boys. You got those crazy.
That could be it too.
How's the family though, 40? How's everything going, fam? How you doing?
We're good. Zayden is 2 months tomorrow. He's getting his first shot.
2 months
already?
Wait, you can get a shot at 2 months? Wow.
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
2 months you get it's your basic shots. So like.
Oh, the basic shot.
Yeah, I forget what they are, but like Edge went through the same thing. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I automatically went to like vaccine just because that's just the topic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well yeah, I understand.
I
Yeah,
can't
no,
believe
just
he's
regular.
already 2 months old, though.
That's
Yeah, and he's
crazy.
gained like 6
Oh
pounds.
my
He's
God.
bigger than Edge. He's bigger than what Edge was.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he's gonna be bigger
Wow.
than Edge.
How
bully
many
Edge
pounds
around.
was he at birth?
He was lighter than Edge at birth, but now
Uh-huh.
he's heavier than Edge when Edge was 2 months. So I'm just like, okay, what's going on here?
I
But
think
he
I
eats
was like
a lot more.
I was 6 pounds 5 ounces when I was born, but I was born a month early. I was supposed to be born on Halloween, and by the time Halloween rolled around, I was over 10 pounds. So someone knew that my mother was not supposed to birth a 10-pound child. So it's a good thing I was a month early because I was a very fat baby.
Oh, jeez. Oh. How about you, Jen? Do you know how big of a baby you were?
I don't remember the size, but I definitely was a chunky boy. But my brother was even bigger, so I didn't seem as big.
Okay. Very nice. All right, we'll just give it another minute and we will get started here tonight, guys. All right, it's Taco Tuesday. Jen, is it Taco Tuesday for you? I don't know your time zones, fam.
It is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Oh, geez. Okay.
Or Thursday, I mean. Or what? Yeah.
What? Is it Thursday over there?
It's Wednesday for you.
It's Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah.
See, it's
I
Wednesday.
don't know, I have a computer system. Yeah.
Okay, so it's no longer Taco Tuesday for you anymore.
No, I had my tacos yesterday.
Oh, very nice. I'm proud of you. Good job, man. Very good job. And hello to everybody just joining in. We appreciate everybody. Oh, 40 disappeared. Oh, look at that. Oh, shit.
Oh my God, why?
No, he's really in hell.
Oh my God, that mask is terrifying. No.
That's the mask you had on your Twitter earlier, right?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
That is beautiful.
I refuse.
Oh, you should leave it on that way when
But then Rez wouldn't show her face.
Rez and Jen post the videos, you'll just be there like
oh my God.
Or maybe she'll just block you. She'll have like something over Teddy's face over yours. Oh, jeez. All right. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and do this.
Let's do it.
All right. So, welcome back, everybody, to another episode 13 of the Fireside Chat, a monthly Opera Omnia podcast where four friends get together, have some few drinks. They don't have to be alcoholic necessarily, and just talk about Opera Omnia. So if my fellow host will introduce yourself so our viewers know who you or we are.
Hello, I'm Rez. This is my best bear, Teddy. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. Tonight I had a lot of White Claws before this, so I'm just sticking to water for the rest of the night. But water is actually my absolute favorite drink. So yeah.
I am Jin. I am on YouTube. I am the current godfather of DFFOO, and that is all you need to know.
What's up, guys? 40 Broadway Saiyan here. I want to clarify that my last video on YouTube does not mean that I am back. I just felt like trolling. And also,
what did you post?
Also, Jin broke me, so I mean,
I broke him. I made him a little bit crazy.
He did. He made me a little bit crazy.
What did you post?
No, I'm curious.
Look at the video. I
God,
posted it a few days, like last week. It was
something
like
about
Vayne video.
It was supposed to be his Vayne recommendation. It was like some sort of shark, baby shark or something.
Oh my God, I just saw it. Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
I'm not officially back, but you guys can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Discord.
Oh, no.
And unlike Rez, I'm actually having a White Claw.
Ooh.
I'm having a
What
watermelon flavored White Claw because
watermelon is solid.
I bought a box of them at Costco. I want to say like.
Did you buy the variety pack number 2?
Yes, I did.
That's a solid one.
Huh? What?
That's a solid variety pack. I prefer variety pack 1, but variety pack 2
my
is still
Costco only
good.
had variety pack 2.
No, watermelon is my favorite from variety pack 2. Yeah.
I didn't even know
Watermelon's
that was
great.
a thing.
Yeah, I'm having alcohol tonight just cause.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, very nice. And me, myself, I am Lidz87, a fellow YouTube and Twitch content creator. I'm so curious about this video that 40 posted because I saw a notification on my phone from YouTube. I was like, holy shit, he's back. But now that I know it's a troll, if I click it now, you guys will hear the Baby Shark song, whatever it is that you did. But I will have to look at that. That's beautiful, 40. That's beautiful, man. All right, guys. So all right. So in today's Whew, let me back at that. That's too funny. All right, so welcome back, everybody. It's good to see you after a month from our previous episode was our 1 year anniversary. So we are heading towards our second. So in another 11 more months from now, we will be celebrating our second year. So let's see what the next year has entailed for us. That being said, being a monthly podcast, how did the last month go for my fellow host here when it comes to the burst era? Is there any character specifically that you guys greened and why? Jin, I'm going to hand this one off to you.
Well, in the last month, I was debating on between Y'shtola or Bartz, mostly to green, but then I just ended up not greening either because I was just like, I don't have any faves in this group, and I'm just going to save my mats. And so I didn't green anybody, and I didn't need to green anybody. So, but they do look like a lot of fun, though. I mean, like stacking people with like Bartz and Ace doubling up with their greens does look pretty damn fun. But I will have my fun soon enough. What about you, 40? You were telling me that you weren't greening either, even though you were planning to do like a bunch of them.
Yeah, no. So on JP, like I greened Zidane, I greened Ace. I mean, because it's JP, it's the beta of global, right? And I'll be honest, I steamrolled content like crazy on JP when Lufenia Plus first came out. But on my global side of the game, because I know what to expect already, because I've done it already on JP, I wanted to take a different approach. So just like you, I haven't greened a single character because I haven't had a need to. I did every single Lufenia Plus without having to green a single BT. When I beat Transcendence 5, which I know this is a topic that we'll be talking about later, I actually did not have Ace's BT in my inventory yet. I was like, should I token this? Do I need this? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it without Ace BT, just Ace LD. And I beat it. So
nice.
It's really fun to challenge yourself. And especially if you've experienced the content before, and just to see how far you can push your roster and what you have, because everybody has this notion where like, oh, you need BT plus for this, yada yada yada. That's totally not true. I mean, yeah, BT plus helps. It's very powerful mechanic, but I was like, nah, not this time. I want to try to challenge myself and see just how creative I could get and just how I can push my skill, if you want to call it, at this game to the next level, because I feel like at this game I actually don't really think I'm that good. I actually think I suck because I just go with like the best characters every single time. But with my global playthrough, I was like, you know what? Let's challenge myself. Let's prove the naysayers wrong that we're saying that you need BT plus, and let's just do this. And so far, I've been fine. I've been fine.
I respect
Rez,
that.
how was this past month for you?
It was solid. So the only I got Ace burst on my way to getting his LD, which was really nice. And I ended up plussing him since he's one of the few that like does really well with just plus. I have Bart's burst. I didn't end up plussing him, and I didn't get Zidane or Y'shtola burst. But yeah, I didn't do a ton of. I guess I didn't. Yeah, it wasn't very burst heavy other than Ace. But I've had a lot of fun using Ace. And then Lidz, what about you?
So I did end up greening 2 units, and I actually regret doing one of them. Bart's was like for sure for me because I just didn't do the whole Bart's thing on the JP side of the game. Same with 40. I went with Zidane. I thought Zidane was cool and everything, so I went that route, followed by Cloud of Darkness. So on global, I was like, let's switch it up. Let's go with what you're supposed to do. So I went with Bart's, and the other unit that actually I feel like I really didn't need to even green all the way was Y'shtola. Now, don't mind you that again, guys, she's a great support type character, but like with the current content that we have had, and with the comp set or the units that I've been picking up, I just feel like I didn't need to, and I could have saved those resources for someone else. I don't know, possibly Ace, because I never greened Ace on the JP side of the game. Ace is great. He's been a great unit. Just with his LD, I just burst tokened his burst earlier today, and I've been using him with just his LD and friend support Ace, and it's been pretty nice. The only reason why I greened Ishtola was like, oh, I'm gonna use her for the Transcendence, the last tier, and I didn't even end up using her. I just went with the whole Sid Mao and Bartz. Bartz is the other unit that was on there because the Bartz goes amazing with that team composition, which is pretty nice. So yeah, those were my greens, and we'll talk about some of these upcoming other green units for the that are coming up for the month of, well, currently right now Vayne just popped up with Cloud Darkness and for November. Now
I would like to add, like, for Ishtola, it is like, if anybody's considering greening her, you have to have kind of like specific kind of team comps that you plan to build or use to really utilize her the max. And if you're not bringing like battery heavy teams, then yeah, her greening, you probably wouldn't want to do it. And Bartz and Ace are like fantastic greens where it doesn't require as much I guess team composition. They're more free to be plugged into more team comps. So if anybody is like wondering out of these four who to green, I'd probably put like Bartz and then Ace. They're pretty close, and then Y'shtola and then Zidane in terms of if I'm ordering greens. And then they're actually some of the most solid Burst Plus units that you can get. The next ones upcoming that we'll discuss are a little bit worse. So you can always decide to green them later if you want and not feel like you wasted time. All right, yeah. Now we can discuss the SQUEX live stream. If anybody else wants to chime in on what I just said.
No, of course. Like I can. So I guess I didn't really give a little bit of backstory why I did that. I personally have other support type characters. That's why I feel like I didn't need to. Like with her burst weapon, for example, I have that Aphma who pairs beautifully with Sid Reigns, and they've been stomping a lot of the current content on the global side of the game. So that's why I just feel. But if I were to recommend units to possibly even green, it would be Bartz. Maybe Y'shtola, and no, I guess it really comes down to your team compositions, because Ace is like I've been saying, Ace is an amazing type attacker with that off-turn damage. Just like with his LD, he can dish out a lot of damage, and if you decide you want to green him for some of the auras for your party just to increase the damage, I mean, sure, why not? So it's really tough.
Also for Y'shtola, I mean, for you even especially, sorry, like you might regret her now, but like later if you get somebody that you really like to use with a lot of battery, then she can actually really help you out there. So who knows, maybe you won't regret it down the line. Green units can last a long time. So
yeah, of course. And I foresee myself, at some point, it's all about team composition. So wherever she fits, just throw her on in. Especially so all right, so now that we are in this wonderful new era, what are your guys' thoughts for the Lufenia Plus era, and are you having any troubles? Rez, we'll start with you on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, so I literally just did the Transcendence Reckoning last night at roughly 2 a.m. And I was getting a little frustrated with it because I kept killing the ads, which is like keeping them between 0 and 50% health is like the key to winning the entire thing. And I kept having to like redo my calls and redo the timing based on like resurrection and everything. It was a lot of fun once I like got into a groove. It was a little I had a really fun team comp. Ace, Celis, and Core. And I got to use my plus Ace. I didn't green him, but I did plus him. And he was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was a very interesting fight. So far, Lufenia Plus has been fine. And I haven't had all of the units. I don't think, maybe I have. No, I did not have Arna or Prompto for that Lufenia Plus. But it's interesting. I like do a lot of fights very last minute, but I'm the kind of person like I don't like doing them live because I love reading up as much as I can about the fight mechanics beforehand. I don't really like going into a fight live and then dying and then like not knowing why I died. So especially since I'll, like, look away and all of a sudden I'll look down and somebody will be dead. But yeah, so I like it so far. I'm excited to tackle it once I green it first. What about you, 40?
So far, with Lufenia Plus, so like I said earlier, I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could actually do it without greening or even like booking a single burst. And so far, I was able to. Probably the hardest one for me was the Sid Reigns one, and I promised Jin that if I lost to him for the pool battle, that I would stream 5 attempts not using Sid Reigns, what I actually meant is that I wouldn't use Sid Reigns as a unit in my party, as a friend, or as a
Right.
call. So it was hard, and like
Oh my God.
it was brutal. It was brutal. And it was funny because Jin, people thought that the bet was that I had to do Sid Rainless runs and actually completed it 5 times without Sid Reigns. I'm like, yeah, if I did that, I would be streaming for like 72 hours straight and I would
That
die.
would take a long time. Yeah, that would take a long time.
So unfortunately I failed, but there were a few times where I got so close and I was like, you know what? Now that I'm just doing this, I'm just going to keep trying. And I eventually did it. And I actually did it with the team composition that you used. I went on your video and I was like, who the hell did Jin use? So yeah, I ended up caving and using a Sid Reigns friend. And I did it. And I actually felt good,
Nice.
That's
actually
awesome.
like not having a BT plus and not having the OP character in my team. But yeah, so far I think Lufenia plus, I mean, I know there was a lot of concern about it, especially from people that just follow JP but don't actually experience it for themselves. But it's not that bad. Like honestly, I feel like early chaos was worse than this. Or even like during around the time when like Vanille Lost Chapter was out, or like Lena Lost Chapter, that was worse than this. The reductions may seem like it's it may seem like it's scary, or it's a little like, oh, why do they design the fights this way? But there's ways around it. And I mean, if you follow your favorite content creators, we've given you guys suggestions of like characters that you should consider pulling for to help you with these type of like brave damage reductions and things like that, to kind of work around some of the mechanics that could be deemed as like scary for Lufenia Plus. But yeah, so far for me, I've had a blast challenging myself. Jin, what about you? How's Lufenia Plus treating you?
Right. So I think like what you were mentioning about the brave damage reduction, I would say that's the biggest change between like regular Lufenia to Lufenia Plus, where they're like, I think the struggle with a lot of people is that Lufenia Plus requires a lot more understanding of the fight mechanics and stacking little things like calls and auras, and you can't just like bulldoze through it with meta all the time. And I think that's what's tripping people up. But for me, so I've been used to doing that, and then so I didn't actually start out trying to do this, but like all of my Lufenia Plus runs have been like without a burst, except for the Sid Reigns fight. And the only one with synergy that I used was Quistis no LD for the Quistis Lufenia fight. So actually, my channel has kind of turned into like showing how to do fights without like synergy or featured units. And so far, it's actually been not bad outside of the Sid Reigns fight. And I did give a little rant on the Sid Reigns fight because I wanted to elaborate on my Aphmau rant. Like I had realized that they had removed Tifa synergy and Aphmau synergy as well, and the ability for people to get Tifa LD for that fight, because she is like the best option outside of like Sid Reigns to do that fight. So that was probably the toughest fight, I'd say, because there's so many deadly mechanics on it. And I'd say Quistis fight is like easy only if you know what the mechanics do and you have a Quistis 35 CP. Otherwise, that one is pretty tough as well if you don't have Quistis, if you are trying to do it without Quistis. But otherwise, I would say those are the most notable fights for me. But otherwise, yeah, Lufenia Plus is not as... It was probably what I expected. It was some of them more tough, but not too bad. and definitely you don't need any greens, and sometimes you don't need any bursts, especially if you have like sets or rainbowing stuff. So yeah. How'd you do, Lids, with your two greens actually?
Ugh.
Were you stomping all the content?
Lufenia, easy. Lufenia Plus, I got all the synergy characters, all the boosted characters. This is the easiest era ever. I'm just kidding, guys. I will. So, well, on the global side of the game, it hasn't been as challenging. I mean, I have been picking up some of these synergy characters. RNG has been on my side with tickets. Like I got Prompta, for example, so that it was fun using some of these characters. It's nice to switch some things up because I know, like, when Panda first came out, I was actually surprised. You know, every character is boosted for World of Illusion events. But like on JP, I took that on with like a green Zidane and everything. My Zidane didn't even have his burst for that one. I was able to do that. I believe I just had like, what was it? It was Yuna, Porom, and Zidane. Burstless Zidane. Yuna's the only one with the burst with a friend support. Zidane with their burst weapon. So it was definitely nice taking on content differently. I know for probably the one that gave me a challenge at first was for the Mummy Transcendence, because I did it with a different comp on the JP side. I remember I used Zidane, Beatrix, I forgot the third unit, and then on Global I did the Sid Mao thing. So just trying to the pattern of with the little baby mummies, the add-on mummies, and the big Papa mummy, and getting the mummies to the 50% threshold, and now you get Kamikaze and died. So aside from that, it hasn't been too crazy yet, but I can't wait until one of the upcoming ones for the Cait Sith Lufenia Plus, because that is the one where I'm actually afraid of, because that one for me on the JP side, that one's hard. That one was a tough one. So yeah, be prepared for that one. Global players, if you're not familiar with that one.
I've been hearing things about the Divine Shiva as well being tough.
I hate that one.
So I've heard.
So if anything, those two, at least for me, you guys are like grandmasters when it comes to Operami and thinking about team composition. So it might be different for all of you, but I know for me that one was tough, and I cannot wait to tackle that on Global. Just vengeance. So especially Shiva also. There's Shiva with Funny Plus. That's going to be scary. That being said, has there been any, during the Lufenia Plus era, are there any units that you guys like using together? Is there a favorite team composition that you guys have been seeing yourself use a little, been using in the more recent Lufenia Plus stages? 40, I'll start with you.
So far, I like using Ace, Yuna, and Core. That's fun. Especially like if Core can like just give Core a call that like gives like an enchant and imperil, like Kursami for example, and then just go to town with like Ace. And then I'll BT with Yuna because I don't have my Ace green, because I won't do it unless I have to do it. And also I just love the auras that Yuna provides, and I love that team composition right there. Or I can even just use like an off-turn unit, a unit that like boards up a lot of turns over Ace, and just stomp with that team. It's pretty fun. That's what I've been using so far. What about you, Jin?
I don't have like a specific go-to comp. It's more like I enjoy the game mechanics to put together like a very nice team composition that works really well together. Like, so for example, like for Panda, I just lived off battery. I brought Agrius, Aphmau, who I love both of those units. I have both their armors blue, and then I had I'm an Italian for that, just for the delete turns on that. So I didn't even use it down there, and they just worked. They just lived off the battery. They were able to make it through that fight. And then like for like guys, Lufenia, you got Setzer with like Beatrix, and even though her debuff wasn't applying, but you got the rainbow counters, and so like those things would send all of us back, but she would have her protection up, so we'd get 0 damage, and she'd counter everything with the rainbows as we were delayed to Kingdom Come. So I think just doing stuff like that, obviously people love the Mao, the Sid Mao comp, and that's a great comp. And then even Mao and Sync is really fun too. I think Sync is really fun. So it's just like putting together units that work really well together, I generally find to be satisfying. It doesn't really matter the specific unit sometimes, but there's certain units. That's why I like units like Yuna, units like Aphmau. They kind of just and Setzer, and they just kind of go really well together with a lot of other units. That's kind of how I would play. And Riz, how about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat where I don't have like a go-to team comp, but I've been using characters that I either haven't used in a while or I've never used. Like Sync, I didn't even have her EX, but I was lucky enough to get her LD on the free pull and then tokened her EX. I had so much fun with her, and then I had a lot of fun with her with Alpha, and I'm really glad I got her, and I hope I'll find more opportunities to use her. But when I was doing the Reckoning fight last night, I realized like I fucking love trap characters. I love trap characters. I love like off-turn damage. And so with that 3-enemy fight with Salas using lock on everybody and then core buff on her, it was so much fun just seeing the follow-ups keep happening before the turn, and then after the turn all of the traps going. Like I just, it reminded me to a much, much lesser extent of like when I played FF12 for the first time and I set up all my gambits, and then I did like the Yasmat 50 million HP fight, and I set up all my gambits and then just like left the controller and like went to go make dinner or something. That's what it feels like when you're fighting 3 enemies and all of them are targeting Celis, and you've got core buff on Celis and you've got Ace and Celis traps on them. So I love teams where it's just like, oh, I'm pressing one button and now like seven different things have happened. So I'm excited to figure out different team comps. I'll get into that a little bit later. But Lids, what about you?
I just realized that you guys mentioned Setzer. I have not used him on Lufenia Plus on the global side. He was like a staple for me on JP. I haven't been using him.
I think you were the only one that was saying, have Setzer over core, which we were saying why not. But you remember we were having discussion about like who would we choose, which rainbow character if we had to choose between Setzer and core.
Yeah, at the time, just even now, even if you don't have core, just Setzer, he just fits into a lot of comps and does more for the team comps. But currently right now, what I have been enjoying, definitely Ace with his LD. It's always beautiful just to always see the constant damage on the enemies. But I have been enjoying Sid Reigns, even like on JP and on global. I've always I like what his animation during a chase sequence, just extra damage at the end. I've always wanted a character to do something like that for a little bit. Like I know when we were gonna have like one of our global first, when they actually announced Aranea, and I would watch like combat videos of her. I know she did a lot of aerial combat, so I'm like, oh, maybe Aranea will get something like that. Nope, they made her a stripper pole dancer instead, but with Sid Reigns, dishing out that extra damage, adding his turn in, I always find that really cool. So I have been enjoying using Sid Reigns a lot. And aside from that, I really need to play around a little bit more. Like I want to use Beatrix. Beatrix is really cool, honestly. And who else do we have? I tried out Prompto. I wasn't that crazy about Prompto. Prompto's all right, but I don't know. I've never been a fan of Prompto. I maxed him out. I got maxed out his LD and all that. So that's just me. Were you gonna say something?
I think he's pretty fun. Yeah, I think he's pretty fun. I guess it depends, but I'm a sucker for like debuff units. So his attack down that's consistently reapplied, 70% is great, and then he has obviously the tanking and the extra follow-up attacks too. So I think there's a lot of units that can get overlooked, but I think he's one that I think can be used to really like neuter a fight if you need to.
I can definitely see that. So team compositions, but yeah, Sid Reigns for me. So
Sid Reigns is like the first time I saw his kit, because I don't follow JP that closely. Like I was like, what? Who designed this character? Like, who was like, give him everything, give him absolutely everything, more, give him more. No, he needs every single thing. Like the only thing he doesn't do is like heal or something, But it's insane. Like literally his character is great. His character is pretty good. But yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty loaded for a character, and the fact that this dude, like, he has future longevity because he's a crystal level 90 character. He's gonna come back, in a few months from now, and he just right back off of the bench. As soon as you start to put him on the bench, hey, guess he's gonna come right back out. So he's definitely a beast. He's a very powerful character. I know I don't know if you guys have heard too, or here and there, that players are like, oh, there's gonna be bosses that are immune to being launched, but I feel like that's been an argument since the start of the game. Like, there have been chase comps since even pre-Sid Reigns, and of course there will be bosses that you just can't launch. But wherever you can launch a boss, chase compositions are pretty powerful in those situations. So yeah, Sid Reigns, he's been great. He's been awesome.
Yeah, that's like not pulling on Paladin Cecil because there's some holy absorb fights coming up. It's like, okay, well, what about other fights? There are other fights. Yeah.
Very true. So, all right, guys. So we did recently have a Square Enix community live stream where we actually got, the confirmation for the events for the rest of October, and I would say just before the end of November. Now, one thing that I definitely noticed, I don't know if you guys picked it up. Oh, Cerberus with the sub. Appreciate it, fam. Is that they didn't address any form of quality of life changes, which I don't mind seeing, but I was a little surprised at, because we usually see something, right? Do you guys have any thoughts about that? Or something that I have been seeing also recently that a lot of the player base have been complaining about is that when you hold on the ability button, that it kind of it locks you with the menu that pops up. Instead of just letting go, it'll go right back. Have you guys been seeing any complaints about that? And what do you guys actually think? 40.
I haven't seen any complaints myself from my end with the Discord servers and the chats that I'm in. Honestly, it's one of those things that I just kind of glossed over, and I was like, cool, we have this. Nice. Yeah, for me it was just like, all right, this is cool. It's what it is, it's one of those things where there's certain quality of lives where I'm just kind of like, yay, we got this. And if there's like an issue with it, I just tend to ignore it because as long as I'm still able to play the game and be able to do what I want to do with the game, I just don't let it impact me, and not like, for example, it's not like what they did with like banners and stuff, like with the Setzer banner and the Afmao banner, and especially with what Jin brought up and stuff, like that's like different, right? But stuff like that's kind of like, all right, it's what it is, it's not like it's going to prevent you from like pulling on a certain character, preventing you from beating hard content. So that's just how I go about it. I don't know, Jin, what do you think about this?
Well, it definitely took me some getting used to, because I'm used to using those holding down the buttons to see the turn rate of units. So those, I used to just hold it quick and let go just to see where they would jump on the turn. And it's pretty important to plan your moves ahead for people that with high turn rate units like lightning and stuff like that. But yeah, so I can understand like the frustration, because I was kind of annoyed with it at first. But I think the reason is just for people to be able to read. I guess a lot of people don't read that stuff is probably the issue, and most people use it the same way that I use it. So I can see why there could be complaints, but it's not something I would get worked up about.
Mm-hmm.
Rez, have you had any issues with that?
Forgot. Like, I forgot that it was a thing. Like, I always check turn rates, like, with every character, basically, especially with, like, Ace or even Sync with her low turn rate. But I was realizing it when I was doing it last night for Reckoning and thinking about it. I realized, like, it just didn't even register. So I like it because I like reading through skills, especially when somebody has like the plus version versus not plus version. I like just seeing what those differences are for fun, but I think it just hasn't registered that it's just an extra click. Lids.
Yeah, I can see that. It was an annoyance at first, but you just get used to it. I just know I've seen players from time to time, they keep bringing it up that they don't like it, they hate it, but I personally, again, like I'm just used to it at this point right now.
I think the stuff before was unreadable, so I think they probably had to do that. If people want to read it, there's so much stuff. Like in some of those, the texts were so tiny, and people playing on like small phones and stuff. So I think it's something they had to do, and the people and checking turn rate, they could give another way to do it maybe, but otherwise, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and
we did get a kind of an interface update though. They didn't mention that.
Oh yeah,
that was in the in-game notifications, right?
Yeah, they moved some buttons around. It's like a UI update. I don't know if it was good or bad.
Probably preparing us for the what are they calling it on global or intertwine? JP is intertwine wills. That's JP.
Intersecting.
Is it intersecting wills?
Is that what they're calling it?
Wills intersecting. Yes. It's something different. I don't know. It's probably to make space for that button. So I questionable, but I do need to bring up this wonderful point that
intersecting
quality
wills.
Intersecting wills.
Intersecting wills, yeah.
So I
didn't even notice that.
I have no idea. But one quality of life change that we really need, and 40 just brought it up, is the friend support or the friends list. Quality of life change. 40. What? Explain, fam. What do you want done with that thing? Tell us.
So first off, because I don't know if Square knows this, but a lot more people play this game than you think, and 300 spots on your friends list is just not enough. I could speak from experience of like having to like remove people because we all want to add each other, and also when you auto invite people, why is it just the first 20 people? Why can't it be everybody that's online? Yeah, I get that might that might cause some issues with the server, but I mean, just how expensive can that be? I mean, Square Enix has been a very successful company. I think if you could throw a little bit more dollars into that would make everybody happy. And then not only that, but like, let's say they want to keep the friends list at like 300, have a way to like search somebody up that's not on your friend list via their user ID or their user. Well, actually, user ID would make most sense because you can actually have duplicate usernames. Because I actually ran into somebody named the Broadway Saiyan that wasn't me, and I was just like, what the heck?
Oh my.
in a random co-op, I was like,
imposter.
This is interesting.
So you do have multiple
accounts.
But
like I think that would be really, really helpful, because like for example, like when we stream this game, and we like host co-ops, like we all want to play with our viewers, like coming from a streamer's perspective, right? And sometimes it's hard when like you're at a space on your friends list and everybody in your friends list is active. Like either increase the friends list and have an alternative, and if you're just gonna hit auto invite everybody, like have it invite everybody that's online that's on your friends list. I think that would be super, super helpful for them to improve that. Like I don't know what kind of leaps and bounds they need to go through to do something like that, but it's something that I've been so vocal about improving the friends list and the co-op of how to invite people, and other options of like inviting people besides like just having them on your friends list and like mutually following each other. So that's just my thing. I think that's a quality of life that I would definitely appreciate to see.
I feel like they did upgrade the servers, right? Like just based on like the amount of disgusting lag that was on the Zidane's Burst Plus release, and then we were expecting like something similar like for Sid Reigns, right? But it was just like super smooth. There was like a night and day difference. They must have done something on their back end, which was appreciated at least for that.
Yeah, that lag was terrible. That lag was very bad when I mean it was the start of a new era, so I could definitely see that, but yeah, it was really bad.
Mino actually just confirmed. He said SQUEX Bridge overall was boosted, and so the performance across all SQUEX games are better now.
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
That's great.
Very nice.
So is the friends list thing updated too?
Thanks, Mino.
Well,
they could now if it was a server issue, but who knows?
I can definitely get behind that with the whole friend support thing, especially when you like want to do co-ops with other people, especially if you're like a content creator and you're live on Twitch, because there's been plenty of times where I want to run co-ops. It's like I don't, but then it's all the players that I don't have as my friend supports are suddenly, hey, add me, and I'm out of space, it literally probably takes like half an hour to get a co-op started because I can't tell you how many players I'm adding. So I don't know, make changes, get us like a room ID code, just post it in, first come, first server, invite the entire damn list. I would love to see those changes. Right, Rez?
Yeah, I really like the idea of a room code. I stopped doing like stream co-ops for this reason. It just stressed me out. It just stressed me out way too much. That and like Cosmos co-op just is over so quickly nowadays. But I think a room code would be very cool.
Have you guys ever submitted like some of those suggestions to like the GL feedback? Because that's generally like what or Reddit, I guess, but that's generally like what they would like. If they get tons of upvotes, they will try to maybe do it. Who knows? Depends, because we don't know. That's like a big streamer issue, but like for people that don't stream, they probably don't know that that's an issue. I would suggest like putting it in the
we'll put
GL
it
feedback.
We'll put it in the suggestion box. Let's see what happens with that. Or at least the changes that 40 suggested. That would be great. So, all right, guys.
They recently fixed like something really quickly. What was it? Oh yeah, Quistis's EX was she was released with an issue, and they fixed that fast. That like it didn't battery. I think it was missing like the EX Plus, the limit break, the 3 out of 3. It was getting 7 hits. There was no battery. I ran the Lufenia Plus. I was like, what is wrong with Quistis? Like her EX is hitting like so crap. Like I know like I don't have the LD right now, but I was like, she's worse than I was expecting. But then it turned out it's bugged, and they fixed it pretty quickly, which I don't know why they got it bugged in the first place. But yeah, they're getting a lot better in terms of like addressing the issues. Like they would have notices in game. Like they'll tell you what's wrong and they'll tell you when it's fixed. So I do appreciate that kind of stuff that they've been doing.
I have an absolute issue with Quistis. All right, hear me out. Where are her glasses from her costume?
I agree.
What the hell?
I think the biggest issue.
I had this conversation with Rez. I was like, glasses are generally what you don't want to have. So I have no issue with her costume having no glasses. Like people are putting contacts on their eyes, like people are trying to get rid of glasses. Glasses are like I wouldn't say handicap, but it is okay. Mino says it for me. He says glasses are wheelchairs for the eyes.
I guess
I got LASIK and it was the best decision of my life. So
right.
Maybe Quistis got LASIK.
Quistis got LASIK, and her life has changed. LASIK is awesome. It's life changing.
Changed my life.
I am all for Quistis having LASIK.
It's for them delays, huh? Gosh, damn it! No, see, I like glasses. It was there. It's in the bundle. It's displayed with her glasses, and when you're in game, they're missing. So we need it. We need it. I'll put that in the suggestion box, and hopefully we get glasses on the next patch. That'll be really nice. Thank you. So, all right, friends. Now we are going to be receiving some brand new character or some returning characters with their LD. Now this very next one is going to be for Rez. Tell us how hard you're going to simp for Zack.
I think anybody who watched the community stream with me yesterday knows how hard I will simp for Zack. I am so fucking excited that costume is coming early. I'm going all in on that banner, even though I will also be gemming his burst banner with Rydia because I love the boy. I love Zack that much. I'm just going to be pulling on both banners because I want to be able to use Zack now. We got the abs this many months early. I want to use the abs. So yeah, I'm excited to put him on a team with like Stripper Oz and be able to enjoy all my eye candy right there.
Then Yang.
Right. Yang. We'll put them on the team for good measure. No, it's not an ideal team. Not an ideal team. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for him. And I know he gets a rework and everything, and he becomes amazing damage dealing tank again. So I'm very excited to get him again. But more than that, I'm just very excited to purchase that. Costume. What about you, Jen? Same for you, right? You're excited for that shirt removal.
Yeah, we're all about the swimsuit life. Everyone needs swimsuits at this point. But I want my money back for the other costume though. That was that changed. I don't even know what it changed at this point. I don't even know when I have the costume equipped, to be honest. I want money back for that one, and I also the way that they did the seasonal banners. They screwed me for the third time again because I did want Ace BT on it, but now I'm getting Vayne BT on it. But I can't complain too much about that. Even though it is a downgrade BT, at least it has a BT, and it's on it's not on a triple LD banner. Somebody mentioned in chat before that Tifa is probably going to be on it because she's synergy for the event. So that is where our missing Tifa LD is, but it's not available for Sid Reigns' Lufenia anymore. But that is where Tifa will be, and yeah. I wanted Tidus Burst on Setzer, didn't happen. I wanted Zidane Burst on Aphmau, didn't happen. I wanted Ace Burst on Zack, didn't happen. But at least this banner was handled better, and Josh was forthcoming about it being with Vayne Burst at least as well.
So
who was Zack supposed to be with previously? Who was?
Oh yeah, Ash got the shot.
Oh
probably.
right, R.I.P. Ash.
But people who were looking to pick up Ash with Zack. Yeah, I mean that's something that we can't really blame Square for. Yeah. Anything can happen in that terms of that. But yeah, so it would probably be Tifa, Zack, and Vayne Burst, and it'll probably be on Halloween. I'm guessing that's where people are guessing it will be on.
Yeah, in a few days, right? So yeah, because we have.
Do you have Ace Burst ready, guys? Everyone else here has Ace Burst, and I'm the only one that is screwed, right?
Pretty much.
Well, Halloween is when Cait is coming out, right?
So
that's when the Mission Dungeon comes out.
Oh yeah, Cait should be Sunday, which is
Halloween.
The November 1st, but it's UTC time. So I'm guessing we'll get Zack maybe 2 days from now, depending on your time zone. So yeah, so we'll see what happens with that one, bro.
Yeah. So it is unfortunate because Vayne Burst is probably unanimously agreed to be worse than Ace. But if you have Ace, then it is a nice way to get another burst. But if you don't, it does feel a little bad. But it's all right. At least it has a burst.
Yeah, I could see that. I know it throws a wrench, to a lot of our plans because it would have been nice to, I guess, go after Ace's burst while trying to get Zack's LD. But I know that Zack does make a comeback later down the line. Correct me if I'm wrong. Especially 40.
Radio,
right? Yeah, I see him smiling already. So 40. I have a question for you. When it comes to when should players chase after Zack? Should they chase him now, or should they chase him when Radio comes out with their LD?
Well, I would say if you're saving that and you want to maximize and your gems in the most opportune way possible, this is probably a banner you could wait on, and I would potentially go for it when the BT does come out with another new LD that is really powerful. But that being said, anyone that undersells Zack right now, you should question them because Zack is still really, really strong. He gets a really good rework. The man does more damage than any quote unquote other tank can do on his skills. And the thing is, and I want to give credit to BC for this on his video, because BC did say that Zack is a damage dealer who has tank-like capabilities. He's a damage dealer that protects your party. But if you look at what he does compared to other tanks, for example, look at Warrior of Light. Warrior of Light, he provides shields. He can also taunt just like Zack does, but he has other things that are supportive for your characters, whereas Zack is all about his raw damage. Sure, he has a few auras here and there, and he can also taunt, but his highlight is that he has the damage, whereas other tanks don't have that. So it's better to view him as a high output damage dealer that can protect your party. And he's also a really solid damage dealer. Compared to like BT Plus characters, BT Plus is a mechanic that's really powerful right now. So I think that's a really unfair comparison to compare him to that. But if you're pulling for him because you appreciate the fact that he is a powerful damage dealer that can protect your party. So if you're seeing anybody underselling him, saying that Zack is weak on his LD only release, that is completely untrue, because I actually used him when he first got his LD and he performed just fine. And I used him as a damage dealer, not as a tank, because I actually ran him multiple times. Like, for example, I ran him multiple times with Auron on like reruns of other Lufenias that I wanted to try out because I was doing a little bit of experimentation, and it was actually fun running them together. So that's my stance on Zack. Now, personally, when this banner comes out, I know that it has Vayne BT. It would have been cooler if it had Ace BT, but they tend to shift things around in global. I'm gonna gem him because Zack is my favorite character in Final Fantasy VII. I think he's better than Cloud. Sorry, Cloud fans. I think he's I think he's better than Cloud. I think he's the true hero. But yeah, that's my plans for Zack. But yeah, no, he's a great character, great damage dealer that can protect your party, and he does it very well. So
I would say though, if you are waiting to pull on Zack, do know that if you get his LD now, it depends on who you're going for. Obviously, like for me, if I get his LD now, I'm gemming his LD now, and I'm not gemming for Rydia. So
what? Who are you?
Oh shit!
I can easily gem another banner with his burst on a different time. So it really depends on who you're going for, because his burst obviously runs on other banners, so you don't have to worry about there's no reason to be gemming his first banner if you have his LD. Gemming, unless you really love Rydia. If you really love Rydia, like Rez does, I would suggest not gemming the first Zack banner. I mean, don't gem both banners. It might be tough, but resource-wise, it's not ideal. Like, you can go tickets on Rydia or something, but yeah. I would just say, like, going for his LD now doesn't mean that you can't go for his burst later, because obviously the burst runs on other banners as well. That's my take on it.
With that, I always think about like, okay, I'm glad. All right, now that I won't pull for this person because I'll just like get them along the way later. But like when I pitied Aphmau LD, like VV was on that banner. He's a favorite of mine. If I had, obviously we didn't know that VV was going to be on that Aphmau banner, but if I had waited to pick up VVLD then, like, I didn't get VV or Aphmau LD once I hit pity. Like, I would hate to have to choose between the two. And of course, like, if I hadn't gotten the burst at that point, like, keep going, I guess. But like, I wouldn't want to be
keep going.
I wouldn't want to be in that position. But also, I mean, this Zack's update banner is better for me because I got Ace burst. And I want Vayne burst. So that's what I'm doing. I'm too scared of like going to pity without either LD because it has happened before.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah, that's
Liz is FF7 fan, right?
Yeah, of course, FF7.
We're all going gems here on Zack, it seems, huh?
Oh, I don't know about that one. I'm just thinking tickets.
No.
For Zack.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, I want his burst later down the line, and I mean, I got to get Rydia too, just to make 40 proud of me. Just saying, right? So, I don't know. We'll see. I do like Zack. I've always given him respect in the game and in Opera Omnia as a wonderful, aggressive, type tank. And just when he gets his LD, his rework, he just can dish a lot of damage. When he gets his burst with his burst effect, hands down, he's probably the best tank in the game later down the line. Just there's no arguments with it. Just a tank that can seriously keep your party alive, followed by just dishing out a lot of damage. So the plans right now, maybe tickets, lots of tickets though. And we'll see if we get his LD. I don't know, because we'll we'll see what happens. But Cloud over Zack. But we're gonna be getting some other wonderful characters for the rest of October and November. We're going to be getting, before we start talking about the burst characters, we're going to be getting Cait Sith, or how were they saying Cait Sheath? I don't know if you guys
Cait She.
Cait She.
Cait She.
She.
Yeah.
I heard Cat C, and I'm like, it's Cait Sith.
That's Cait Sith.
It's
Right? You guys grew up with Cait Sith, not just me, right? Cait Sith.
Yeah, I've never heard about the other one until recently.
Blobs.
Oh boy, Blobs. Come on now. Gosh damn it. We're going to be getting Shelke, who I don't know why they're introducing off-game Final Fantasy VII character aside from Nanaki. We're going to be getting Garnet again with our very first Dissecting Wills, right? Intersecting Wills event, which you could probably...
I like dissecting.
Yeah, Dissecting Wills.
Imagine.
And Auron, which is going to be another character. Rez, which one of these characters are you most excited for? Besides from Zack. We're already
Auron.
past Zack. Okay.
Daddy Auron. I love him. And then after that, probably Garnet, and then Cait Sith. I think I'm gonna like totally skip Shelke because as you know, Liz, she comes back with our waifus LD, and I'm going all in for that. So yeah, I'm really excited for Auron. I hear that he is an incredible unit. So I am I'm excited to see him get some use. And then I love Garnet. She's such a cutie. And I really liked using her in the EX Plus era. Like she was such a fun character to use. So those are probably the units that I'm most excited for in that order. And then obviously like Zack is all the way at the top there. What about you, 40?
Just like you, I'm most excited for Auron. Auron is amazingly powerful. He's not getting a rework, guys. That was a typo. I know there was a little bit of confusion on the slides, but that was a typo and a mistake on Square Enix's end, which I believe Josh did address that. But he doesn't need it because that LD is freaking loaded. He covers for your party members. He counters. He debuffs. He imperils. He delays. He heals. He's crazy good. Like he's really good. And the first time I pulled for him and I used him on JP, I was like selling him so hard after actually experiencing what this character got with just that LD alone. And I was like, yeah, he does not need a rework. This LD is super loaded. He's really good. He's incredible. So definitely Auron is going to be my top pick. And then I actually want to say that my second pick would be Shelke. The only reason why is because I am not really interested in Vayne, because I went hardcore for Vayne when he on JP, and despite I actually think Vayne is powerful. I know there's a lot of controversy and there's takes floating around about the character, getting his LD and BT and saying that he's weak, yada yada yada. And I know we're going to get into that later, but I mean, from personal experience, from using him, I think that's going to be one where I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of pulls for that character's LD or burst. So Shelke's going to be my next one, just because I want somebody to deal with the Lufenia orb for that particular event, and I think she looks cool. She's an android. She looks like what's her name, Kyrie. Kind of. So there, if you guys want, Kyrie, Kyrie's lookalike is in default.
From Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yeah, from Kingdom Hearts.
Caillou?
We don't speak about that here. We don't speak about it.
And then probably Cait Sith would be my next one, my next priority for like the non-BT characters. Just because Cait Sith's LD effect is pretty strong, as long as you know how it mechanically works, because I see it compared a lot to Setzers, and it's completely different. I'm sure we'll have a chance to talk about that perhaps later during the stream. But yeah, Cait Sith is going to be my third pick, and then honestly, Garnet, she summons a Gundam, but I think I could wait on her. Yeah, that's who I'm excited for. Jin. What are your plans for the non-BT characters?
I want them all. Auron obviously is the best one out of the bunch. If you're talking about non-BT characters, he's probably the strongest one. And if you're going to save resources, probably skip everyone and pick up Auron. But yeah, I think Cait Sith would be really fun to build teams around. I think Shelke, I think her mechanics look really fun to play around with. Like, I always think I like to do like kind of like I would say like big brain kind of stuff that, manipulating turns and warping, things like that. Those look the most fun. Garnet is super cute. She's probably the most boring to me to play. But outside of that, I think I'd like to have them all. But hopefully we can get them. I think all of them are fun, but probably the one that you want to pick up is Auron. What about you, Lids?
I am 100% on the Auron hype train. He just, as 40 was saying, this guy was an absolute freaking beast on JP. He's going to be a beast on Global. So going there, most likely going to blue him. So there is that. Following that, I'm excited for Cait Sith. Definitely want to go for his LD if possible. RNG. Shelke, I gotta go for a Final Fantasy VII fan. I know Lulu, the Goth waifu, comes back later down the line, but the fan in me feels like I have to go for every Final Fantasy VII character. It's Garnet. I
gotta do it.
Like,
gotta do it.
I have to, Garnet. I don't know. I feel like she's a good character, right? Overall, but like after using her a lot back in the day, 35 CP era, EX era, just now I'm just kind of bored of using her. Again, she's a great character. Don't let that sway you. But I'm not going to be that excited for Garnet herself. I mean, I have another character that can imperil enchant thunder if needed. Ash, different things, right? Throwing that out there. But we'll see what they do with their Lufenia Plus, because I don't know if my rest of my co-hosts have heard. I know 40 has experienced this with the Yuffie being able to cheese Garnet's Dissecting Wills Lufenia Plus. Do you guys think they'll patch that on the global side of the game? 40, do you think they'll patch that?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even know about this because I didn't do it.
Oh, never mind.
Wait, Yuffie can cheese it? How?
I don't know if
Tell me.
I don't know if they patched it or not. Yeah. Viewers, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, but I did it because I didn't know about it at first either until someone brought it to my attention. So apparently the Lufenia Plus for Garnet, it's the Antlines. There's 3 of them, right? And they inflict some kind of debuff on you. You throw it back and they die. That's it. 1 turn, you're done.
Oh god, that's funny.
So I don't know if they'll keep that in. The JP patch it afterwards to not have. Oh, okay, so they did patch it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on the global side of the game. But I remember, I'm like, if it's that easy, do you really need Garnet for this content? I don't know. But yeah,
Mino from TCC, he did mention that it wasn't there on launch.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if it's not there on launch and they did patch it afterwards, I'm pretty certain that we won't have it on GL. So
okay, so that
people don't expect it. Thanks, Mino.
So that was the easiest Lufenia Plus ever for me then. Or at least the players that took advantage of it during that time. Damn, that's crazy. So, okay, so now I'm going to ask our viewers. Now we are going to be talking about one more thing, so feel free to ask any questions, and any of the hosts, if you spot a question, just throw it in our doc here. But we also received word that there is going to be, 2 of them got released tonight. New burst plusable characters. So Vayne, brand new LD, brand new burst weapon, burst plus 3 out of 3. Cloud of Darkness just re-ran, burst plus 3 out of 3. We're going to be getting Lan and Rain with a brand new LD, burst plusable characters, and Garland will be making a comeback as a burst plus 3 out of 3 character. Jin Lee, which one of these units are you going to go for, and who will you be greening if any?
All right, so I don't care about Vayne or Lan and Rain, so I won't be greening them if I get their burst. Garland, I do have his burst, but I currently don't plan to green him. He's not a favorite. Cloud of Darkness, I do have Cloud of Darkness greened at this moment already, because I had burst tokens expiring, and I actually had to let 2 of them go. I had to let 2 of them expire yesterday, just because there was a free pool on, I don't know if I did the correct decision, but there's a free pool on Cloud of Darkness, and I was like, if I token her and I get the burst on the free pool, I will kill myself or kill somebody. So I decided to let 2 burst tokens expire, just so that I could do the free pool in hopes of saving 50 burst tokens. So I won't say if that worked or not. Most likely, people would know that it would not work. There's a 3% chance, but I couldn't live with myself if I had tokened it and then got the burst on the free pool. So I was like, I'll just lose 2 challenge quests if it didn't work out. And I do have a green. I do have a green Cloud of Darkness now. I'm a good friend. I told 40 that I was good tokener, greener for all my friend supports to use. But that being said, out of this batch of characters, like I mentioned before, you're probably still better off greening Ace or Bart's, instead of one of these 4, unless you really want to do one of these 4. What about you, 40? You have all the mats left as well, like I did. Are you greening any of them again? Are you greening Vayne again?
If I had to green somebody from this batch, it probably would be Lon and Rain. I actually used them, for a fair amount on my JP account, and I really enjoyed the amount of damage they can bring, especially whenever a boss fight had more than one enemy, which is a lot more frequent than boss fights that have just one enemy. I greened Vayne initially because I actually like Vayne, and I know there's this notion going about him that he's weak, he sucks, he's not good in his own Lufenia fight. Turn warping kills him. Turn warping hampers his I want to say how people were used to playing him, because Vayne is a character where you take advantage of constant turns and constantly pushing enemies' turns back. But then when the turn warp came in, they're like, oh my god, Vayne is nerfed. That's not really the case, because I actually used green Vayne on his own Lufenia Plus. And what it did for me is I just had to play him differently. I had to be a little bit more conservative.
You break out of order.
Yes, exactly. You have to break out of order. You don't want to go too crazy. And honestly, it's as long as you're prepared for it, there's nothing wrong with giving the enemies a turn for that particular fight. And the character has longevity for days, because I believe when he's like at max stacks, he doesn't use up any skills, so you could skill spam for a long time. I will say though that this character needs full investment. Like LD only Vayne, like it's not even worth it. If you're gonna be using Vayne, do it all the way. Fully green the character. If you have the mass to do so, I would fully blue him, although his armor is kind of strange. I think it's Unity, which is a little interesting for the character, but he needs full investment to really maximize his capabilities. He's not necessarily the best choice for these upcoming Lufenias, but he does fine. You just have to play him differently. You can't just expect him to do what he normally used to be able to do that you were used to. You just have to be a bit more conservative with him. But he is powerful. As we've stated before, BT plus characters in general, it's a powerful mechanic. I mean, just being able to press a button and you get a burst effect and you get all that crazy amount of damage, it's a powerful mechanic. But yeah, my plans is, again, just like how I did with this first cycle of BT plus, I want to see how far I could go without greening a single weapon. And then if I absolutely have to green, I think the first character that I'll be greening is probably going to be Ace, from the first batch of BT plus, and then maybe Bart's. And then if I have to green anybody from this batch, it's probably going to be Lon and Rain. So that's going to be my plans. Rez, what are your plans for this batch of BT plus?
I love Vayne. I love him. I love like you all know me. I am an absolute simp for any charismatic villain, and that includes Vayne. Vayne was Vayne was my very first pity back when back before I was making content, and that might have had to do with the fact that I didn't have enough gems to pity anyone at that point. But I mean, obviously, I know that he's not like the game-breaking unit that he was when he came out with his EX and Cosmos era. That was absolutely insane. I also didn't know who he was back then, though. So I played FF12 a year and a half ago, and I absolutely loved his character. And then I was like, oh, I like using him in DFFOO too. So I read a little bit more. I've been, very, very excited for his LDBT release. I was super psyched when it came out on JP. And I know, like 40 said, people call him like the weakest batch, like the weakest BT plus that we've had so far. And it's what a lot of people are saying. I don't care. I'm greening him like, whenever I get his burst. If I don't get his burst by the end of the cycle, I will token it, but I'm going all in on Zaddy Vayne. I fucking love him. I love that. I love turn hoggers. Like, I mean, I'm a Terra. I used Terra in so many fights. So like, I have no problem with turn hogging, especially if you pair them. Like, it makes it so good to be able to take advantage of a very like low turn call effect aura that you can put on somebody else. I really like his auras. They're not the strongest, but they're very potent. And I think more than anything, I'm excited to have somebody that I am super looking forward to greening, because I feel like, when you have the most fun with this game is when you're using your favorites to the max. So I'm excited to have a favorite that I can go absolutely all out on. And Vayne will be that unit. So like, only go all in on units that like you're gonna use a lot, which I'm gonna be using. That I hope to be using Vayne a lot. I really like characters that make me think about the team comps that I'm going to be using alongside them. He's definitely not a plug in and play character. And like 40 was saying, he's not the kind of unit that you play the same way each time. Like if you're in a fight that allows turn hogging, like go do your default Vayne mode. But I'm excited to try and use him in in his own Lufenia fights, and see how he does there. But I'm just really excited to have a max investment character again, because the last person that I max invested in, like, blue armor, full spheres, like not refine everything, I think was
Yuna,
right? No, I didn't even do full spheres for I did almost full spheres for but she was definitely she was, I guess, probably then, almost 2 months ago, the last character that I did full or like almost full investment in. I have enough mats to green 2 bursts, so the first burst I will be greening is Vayne, and even though he's like
respect,
probably the weakest one out of the BT units that we've gotten so far, I have Bart's and Ace and Cloud of Darkness. I just know I'm going to be using Vayne more, and I'm really excited to have fun with him. So that's my.
I would like to add that like there are no like wrong greens. Like you can do like obviously Lufenia Plus with no greens at all. So anybody you green is just gonna be pretty damn monstrous on their own right. So you can easily pair them with other good units and take them through the Lufenia Plus fights. So you don't have to be like, oh, if I green him, will I regret him? If it's somebody that you really enjoy and you really like to play, greens are not difficult to take through the Lufenia Plus because they are overpowered compared to regular units. So it's just the only issue is if you run out of mats, obviously you have to reserve some for who you really want to green. But otherwise, if they're your favorite, you cannot go wrong with any greens. And also, like, for example, on that topic, like the first 4 BT pluses, and especially like Bart's and Ace, you can always go back and green them because they last forever. So it's not a green now or never kind of thing. Like 40, like you might go back and green them. It's not like, oh, I should green the latest unit because they're probably better. That's not actually the case. What about you, Liz? Are you or
I was gonna interject with something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shantoto BT Plus makes me sad. That's all I'm gonna say.
But you can still
I'm still
use
good
it
at greener.
Shantoto.
Good at greener.
Shantoto.
There's obviously stronger BT pluses. Like obviously Bart's and Ace are stronger than this next batch of BT pluses, but it's still like there's still a green unit. They're still gonna do fine as long as you pair them with the right team members.
I thought her burst effect was great. Her burst plus, she enchants the party, right? With dark, if I remember correctly. Dark damage.
Yeah.
And then her LD has like a massive defensive down. You can pair her with like turn stealers and things like that to take advantage of the defense down. So it really everybody can be used. It just depends on what other units you put them with, obviously. But any green unit I don't think should have any issue going through Lufenia Plus unless their mechanics completely are bad for the fight, obviously. But that would be not that many.
Oh, okay. I thought she was cool when she came out. I don't have her. I was like, oh look, this is cool. She enchants the party.
I think any green could be pretty decent to use.
I definitely agree. And Vayne is not the worst of the batch because you pay this guy also and he strips down. Okay? Come on now.
This is the one costume that I will not get for anybody because I don't like Mocha Vayne. I don't like the way that he looks. He looks so much better. And
but you can pair him with Zack and Sephiroth,
Ooh.
and you have a naked husbando line.
No, I will have those three in the same party. I will keep Vayne in his very imperial, regal garb, but like, no, I don't like Final Boss Vayne.
Look at them pecs. But oh boy. But let's see who. I don't. Oh boy. All right. So I did.
You're already out of mats.
I'm out of mats. Yes. I shouldn't have used them. At least for Stola. But again, I'll use her at some point. All right. She's there. She's ready to go.
You gotta
for
use
whatever
it.
Fight. Exactly.
I love you, Stola.
She's great. But Vayne, I haven't even done my pulls yet. I'll probably do them at some point. I mean, if I get Vayne's burst, that'd be awesome. Am I gonna go out of my way? No, but I did use him a lot on the JP side, especially during his events, even with the current one, right? Where he's supposedly screwed over, just don't make him constantly breaking, let the enemy take a turn before that 10th turn, whatever it is, and he's going to be fine. He came in extremely useful during the Cait Sith Lufenia Plus for me on the JP side, so we'll see what happens with that one on Global if I don't get Vayne. Crispy with the raid. Hopefully your stream went well, fam. Cloud of Darkness I have had from before. I don't think I'll green her like you just said. I don't have resources. Sadness.
I think she's going to be really fun. Did you green her before?
I did on JP. And she was great. But I think as time went on, I just honestly used her more as a friend support rather than on the team composition. So there's that. Lon and Rain, I greened them also, and they were great. I like them. Their whole AoE thing was beautiful. The one conflict I have with them is when it comes to their stats and their auras is there has to be 3 enemies out in the field. How often do we fight 3 enemies? Of course, once they're during the synergy events, we're going to be fighting 3 enemies. But aside from that, it's typically 2 enemies at 2 enemies, not 3. So you're missing out on some stats, but they're still great units, I believe. And Garland, I have him. If I had to green, if I didn't know about any of these upcoming characters, if I had to green any of these units, I would probably go with Garland because, the auras for the party increases the party's brave damage. Great utility character, and he's from the very first Final Fantasy game, so why not? So
you gotta go for the naked lady, man. I don't know why.
Go for the naked
why
lady?
Go for the fully armored guy?
I'll just borrow you. I'll just borrow yours as a friend support, and there we go. So technically, I have the naked lady on my comp. So there's that.
That's true. I'm a selfless person. I like to share the best.
See, so that and that's what I was saying. Like, she's great as a friend support unit. So I mean, I'll be borrowing yours all the damn time, and I'll be rocking out if I do decide. I'm gonna go with Jack. Honestly, that's the next character I'm gonna be saving up my tokens for. But I really don't think I will be greening any of these upcoming units. So unless they release a one of those burst bundles, which I probably would get because why the hell not to support the game. But aside from that, I most likely won't green.
Yeah, I think people can go ahead if you green like a Bard, you green like Ace, or you green like 2 of them. You can definitely just save your resources and ride them out for a decent time.
If anything, if you have their burst weapons just as the burst book fodder, just to get that other ingot. Not duplicates, mind you, because we can't sell burst plus weapons quite yet. at some point. But any of these I'll probably use a book on to get the ingot and save those for somebody else. So. All right, friends. So we are at the tail end of the stream, and it is question time. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I do see that my fellow host did pick up some questions. Who picked up the first one from Blobs?
I did. So Blobs, thank you for always adding nice questions in here. So how do you feel about players saying a Verse Plus character or any future character is bad without trying them for themselves, only going off of YouTube footage or hearsay? Basically hot takes. Jen, why don't you take this one first?
Well, I'm always against people like saying things without personal experience. And even then, sometimes the person's personal experience, they don't know how to use the character correctly. So like for me, when I made how to plays, I only did how to plays for characters I actually maxed. Because I still, even though like I have a good understanding of the game, I still didn't feel it right to tell somebody how to play a character I didn't even have. So when I played around with the character and I knew their ins and outs, then I did a how to play video. And even then, it's hard to cover everything. So I think this game is not black and white. Units are bad in certain team compositions, but they're amazing in other team compositions. So it's really, I mean, you can't separate units into bad and good. Although there are like some really characters that could be wanting more, but they could still be usable. In the end, I think anybody who's saying just takes off of hearsay, they don't really know the game that well them personally, or they don't play enough to actually have their own takes. I don't know if you. Why are you laughing, Liz? What do you got?
I was just thinking about all the core hot takes that popped up. It's
Global First has lots of hot takes, just because no one had seen the character before.
And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I tried to calm down people about like Vincent and then Core. People who were shitting on Core. Wow, like can you not read? Like we knew he was busted just from reading his kit. So, and then he turned out to be just that. So, yeah, I think if people are gonna try to advise others, I think it's best at least have your own at least decent knowledge of the game.
I agree. I with all the hot takes, it's just the players that view the videos. I remember seeing there was a comment. I don't remember if it was on my video, one of your videos. They were like, "Oh, of course, EX doesn't do a lot of damage." Do you know how his kit works? Do you understand where his damage comes from? So it's the players that don't read the kits, that don't watch the videos, don't take the time to understand the character. They just watch the trailer like, "Oh, he's bad. He's terrible." Setsu does Rainbow 2. He's much better. So I know it's tough if you're more of a hands-on type of person when it comes to let's say you're a newer player into the game, and it does kind of suck because if you are hands-on experience, you don't necessarily get that in this game unless you actually pull for the character. So you have to rely on other players' advice or on YouTube videos to see if you'll even like some of these characters. So it's definitely tough, but I would say if you're not familiar with the character, just do your very best to listen to reputable players, or just players that are not doing hot takes, just taking all the feedback from several players and just try to make a decision for yourself.
I think the worst thing is if you say "Oh, I didn't see them a lot on YouTube," that has zero meaning. That just means maybe people didn't know to pull them, or people didn't like to use them. But it doesn't mean that they're bad or good. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that people that upload to YouTube didn't have that character as much. And also JP videos, you have to search in Japanese sometimes to be able to find a lot of different ones. But there's tons in the TCC Discord or Resfoina's Discord, or any of your guys' Discord. People post different team comps with all sorts of characters, and they don't upload videos. It's not everyone uploads videos. There's so many players that don't upload videos.
Yeah.
It would definitely be a pet peeve of mine for people to bash on a character with no experience of their own.
40, tell us how you feel about the hot takes.
I mean, I can understand why when people visually see something and they judge it immediately. I think that's just a normal human nature. I mean, I'll be honest, that's how I am too at times. And like, not with this game because I've had so much experience with this game, but like other things like in life in general. But like with this game, it's like, we have foresight, we have a fantastic community that you can talk to that probably has experience with these characters hands on because they play the JP version or whatnot. So judging it based on a video or like based on like something that you saw, I think is really silly, especially if you haven't done it yourself. That's like watching an exercise video and being like, this exercise will never help me out, but you never even bother trying it. It's like, or like going to a restaurant and like you see a picture of like something really delicious and you think it's going to taste bad, and it's like, come on, like be patient, give it a chance, talk to your community about it first, and then afterwards you could formulate your own opinion, your own decision, and actually maybe get to experience the character itself or whatnot. I really do think that the hot takes are really silly at times. Like the core one was, the ones that I saw were like, wow, like they're comparing him to Setzer because they see one common denominator and think, oh, core is a worse Setzer, when they don't even take into account how different the characters are. Or for example, Zack, we were talking about Zack earlier. Like, I know Zack's going to get compared to a lot of tanks, even though his strengths are his damage, not his tanking. I would actually say that his tanking is the secondary part of his role because his damage, surpasses all the other actual tanks in this game. But the comparisons are going to happen. I just think, my advice is for like, those of you like those players that judge a character like based on a video or whatnot, like I would advise to join a community, talk to your community, get opinions from several different people, and then afterwards formulate an educated, opinion and a decision on, whether or not you're going to invest or you're going to use this character and things like that. Because just coming off of a video is just really, really silly, and without having any experience for yourself. So
I would
that's my
have to
take on it.
say, yeah, I would have to say like the core issue lies in people wanting to know. It just revolves around should you pull? Should you pull is like a huge thing. I'm not like trying to down anybody that does these videos, but people are very much looking forward to seeing like if a character is worthy of their resources. Like, so it's like, I know that people have approached Inkwelder like for the Tonberry troop and the infographics like say like should tell us what if they're a good or bad character or something, and he doesn't do that, which I appreciate. Like the infographics tell their weaknesses, tells their strengths, and then lets the people read it and figure out the kit and decide on their own if that character is for them or not. Because you gotta fit roles, you gotta fit your team compositions, and so not all characters are gonna be a line of. There's only like a handful, if that, of Sid Rains. Like, and people, you will know when there's a Sid Rains coming that, oh, maybe I should pull on that character. Otherwise, everyone else is kind of like can fit into many different niches and play styles. So although I think the should you pulls are very helpful because they generally cover the kit anyways, but most people are trying to look for the yes or no question to that, and it's generally there is no yes or no question, and I think that's the main issue. And when people do the hot takes and say, no, this is trash, don't pull, that's how hot takes come around, is what I think. And this was not a shot at Lidz's how are they worthy videos at all. Just because that's obviously a very helpful.
I was ready to ban. I did /ban Jim.
But that was my reason, because obviously when you go through the kit and their pros and cons as well. So obviously it's for people to decide on their own, more or less, and not to just say one character is bad or good or whatever.
Right. Raz, what do you think?
So I mean, there are so many, like, I used to live off of should you pull videos back in the day before I became a content creator myself. And obviously I'm not a content creator that does like, strategy. I do pull videos, but yeah, I mean, just in general, it's always frustrating when somebody like gives a definitive opinion on something before they've actually tried it out themselves. I see it happen like actually at my company a lot, and it's like infuriating trying to then set the record straight. Like I appreciate different people's opinions, but I always value opinions more if they've got like firsthand experience with somebody. But what I appreciate most of all is like you said, Jin, Tonberry Troop just putting out all the information in like an easily digestible format, and then basically saying like, all right, here's the information. You can make that.
Oh wait, crap! What just happened?
What the hell?
What the hell?
What? Oh my god!
I don't know what just happened. Hold on.
That was probably my bad. I was pressing something on it.
No, I just think. Sorry, I was just gonna say 40 had to hop off. He's got to take care of
oh my god.
Papa duties. No, it's all good.
Okay.
It's all good, 40.
It's all good, 40.
Why is it?
Wait, what happened?
Wait, what is this? Oh
It
dear.
looks like a Zoom thing.
It's I'm using Skype. It's acting up. I think because someone left. It's fine, 40. Don't worry about it, fam. So sorry. It's voice until I can figure this out. I'm so sorry. We're having technical difficulties.
Together mode. I think it's because it's on together mode. So if you switch it back to grid view.
Oh, wait, who did that? Why is it in together mode?
I don't know.
What? Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. First time that's happened. It had us like in a scenic background. It was quite interesting. Is it that? Hold on. Oh dear.
It had us in a scene. It had us in like a fucking amphitheater.
Okay.
It had us in a fucking amphitheater.
There we go. Brought you back. There we go. We're good.
Okay, there we go. Anyway, yeah, so I appreciate what Tonberry Troop does. And I know that they just started doing this with spheres as well. And the whole thing is like, empowering the community to be able to make those decisions rather than just like saying like yes or no. And Lids, in your videos, I always appreciate that you say like, moving forward, all characters are viable. It's just like, this is why you might want to pull for them, and this is why you might not want to pull for them. Those are the ones that I tend to prefer in terms of like advice videos, because it's like, okay, not telling you one way or the other, but here's the information, and then you make the decision for yourself. So hot takes, I've never really been a fan of hot takes in general, and especially it goes for anything in my life, especially gotchas.
Yeah, I can definitely see all that. But just a quick shout out. We got gifted subs from J Unit and Fade. I appreciate that.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you very much. All right, so yeah, lots of opinions about hot takes. So yeah, definitely listen to your fellow players, fellow content creators. Just watch Rez's pull battles with Jin Lee as she screams as she gets excited when she got a burst on a ticket. That means it's a good character to go after. Sorry about that little fiasco, guys. It was the whole thing with Skype. Like we were just saying, we were some kind of like group mode or something, so we were able to get that fixed. Now, there is another question in here. I hope you guys don't mind if I take the one by Apollic88. If I start off with
do
this
it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we had a question on here by Apollic88. As a casual player, is it worth getting the LDs for characters that are not forecasted to return with LDs up to current JP timeline, such as Aurora, Ashe, Sabin, etc.? Now, this is really going to come down to what you currently have. It's going to come down to, honestly, your pull plans. Because the way I see this question and the way I would advise a player is, if for some reason that character is not forecasted quite yet, then how useful are they now? This is going to circle back to, trying to listen to advice when it comes to, other players, other content creators on how well said character is right now, how long does said character last, do they fit into team compositions, do they have a useful call action that you could possibly abuse in upcoming hard content. But if they haven't came out yet, try to pay attention to what is going on currently on the JP side of the game. Currently, right now on JP, for example, they just released the very last LD character, which was King. So more than likely, this theorizing at this point is that are we going to get brand new gacha weapons? So if a character hasn't repeated quite yet, and if they are not in the pull plans, and if they're just not a unit that you absolutely need, possibly wait, because when this character comes back, what are they going to get? Are they going to get a new gacha weapon? They're obviously going to get a crystal level 90. They're going to get some love to their EX ability passes due to crystal level 90, but will they get a gacha weapon or not? And even if they don't, if their LD is on there and they still get that crystal level 90, they'll probably be with another character, possibly a brand new whatever gacha weapon that is, or a brand new burst character, where you could possibly pick them up later down the line. So this is going to come down to your own roster and your own personal pull plans. Jin Lee, how do you feel about this question? Any advice?
Yeah, I mean, you touched up on it. Pretty much, even though they haven't come back on the current JP timeline, the next time they come up, if it's been that long, they're most likely getting a rework or another weapon or something, so you can always pick it up then. But I think GL, with the benefit of foresight, it really helps to just be able to see like what resources you have now and what you're saving for, and if you can't spend it and pick up that unit now, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. I did that a lot in the EX Plus era, especially. I totally skipped the unit's EX or couldn't get it, and then I eventually got it down the line anyways. It's not really a big deal, I would say. There's just certain characters that you probably should pick up, like Sidrains, and stuff like that. But otherwise, like if you're talking about like Iroha, I mean, how much would you use her? Her call is nice, but you don't need it either. Ash's call is nice, but you don't need it either. Saban, etc. Like, and if you're talking about like if you bought the LD pack, I would only buy it if you know exactly who you're going to get. Otherwise, that LD pack only stops until that current point that you bought it. So you might as well just, if you're gonna buy LD pack, eventually you might as well just buy the next one that they release, and then you have more options of LDs in that next pack. If you don't know what you're getting, then I wouldn't have bought it in the first place. I wouldn't buy it in the first place.
Okay. Rez, how do you feel?
Yeah, essentially, just like don't go out of your way to get these LDs. If you get them, along the way, then awesome. They can definitely still find their use, not as much as when they first came out, but as call actions and stuff. But like, they're not units that I would go out of my way for. They're more like, oh, this is a nice bonus. But it's nice because, like, we know that. I mean, in C90 era, that's when pretty much everybody gets their nice little glow up, including units that severely needed it before. So I feel like at this point, it's like, don't chase those units by any means, but if you get them, like, it's good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Great points, friends. All right, friends. So that is it for tonight's episode 13 of the Fireside Chat, a monthly podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. If my fellow host would please let the viewers know where they may find you, starting off with Teddy.
Oh, Bear. You can find Teddy on the couch, curled up on a blanket, passed out almost like 90% of the time. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Discord, and yeah, wherever a White Claw is. Jen, what about you?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, and also you can find 40 on Twitch, on his Twitch as well. He's had to tend the fire of his babies.
Yes, has to be a responsible papa. And I just got Vayne's LD 20 tickets in after the free multi-job. But aside from that, you can find me on YouTube and Twitch. All right, friends. So again, thank you guys for joining me. And we will see you guys on the next one. Have a great night. Happy Halloween.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.
Bye.